Hey Magnus, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
It's great. It's interesting to hear that. Well, rumor has it that we're going to see you in triathlon before too long.
Well, that rumor is right. It's been something that's been in the back of my mind ever, well, for years and years now. And even when I was competing at the top level of cycling, it's one of these intriguing things that I've had in the back of my mind. I really want to do some triathlons and specifically Ironmans, and do that before I sort of lose all the top end of my fitness, and actually do them properly. So I'm looking forward to an interesting couple of years ahead.
How has the training been going? I mean, I assume you didn't just start yesterday to prepare for triathlon.
No, I didn't just start yesterday. I mean, at the end of last year, I tried to find another contract out in Europe again to get back into the top end of cycling. But I've been out of the sport, had to give up because of injuries back in 2009, and since then I've been racing a bit in the UK. And last year I got back out to Europe a bit again with a team that I was running at that point. But certain circumstances ended up being me sort of leaving that team, and I found myself in a position where I was questioning what I was going to do next, and the thought about going in and doing a few going into triathlon came up. And I started looking for a few sponsors, and thankfully Maxi Fuel they got on board, and they're looking after me really well with and sort of making this whole thing possible. And with that, I started training. So I haven't actually been training for that long in terms of obviously looking at the swimming and the running side of things. But at the same time, it's the running. I used to do an awful lot when I was younger as a downhill skier. That was kind of the base of your preparation for the downhill ski season. But the swimming is reasonably new to me. Although I did swim quite a bit when I was younger, but it's just so much about the technique and finding that feel for the water again. So I think that's going to probably be my biggest challenge going forward, is to find the speed in the water, and obviously get these big legs of mine to actually float a bit.
Well, in terms of general physique, maybe not your legs, but in general physique, you seem to have actually a swimmer's physique.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are telling me that. So I guess the technique side of things is looking, that's going to be the main part in getting that right, and also building up the actual sort of, the strength, arm strength, and working, building up my lats and everything else to cope with the, with the swimming, and yeah, I think we should be okay. I mean, over the last 2 months now, where have been training an awful lot, been in the pool sort of 5-6 times a week. I seem to be going faster and faster for every time I jump in the water. So I'm reasonably confident I should be able to swim sort of under the hour at least by the time we get to sort of end of July, beginning of August time. And that's kind of my target for this year. As long as I can get under the hour in the swim, then hopefully my cycling legs are still gonna give me a certain amount of advantage going onto the bike, and then just hold on for grim death in the run.
So, explain to us, you're planning to race professionally or as an age grouper?
To start off with, I'm going in as an age grouper. Mainly, like my whole the plan has been to qualify for Kona to 2014 as an age grouper, go there and do that one, and the goal is to win the age group. And then from 2015 and onwards, and if I see that my times are getting close to what the pros are doing, and I'm actually competitive, top end competitive with the pros, then who knows what's going to happen? Maybe I give it another couple of years and see what I can do. Whether it's a possibility of competing for the pro win at Kona, because ultimately that is the biggest one, and that would be the one that I would want to get myself into, and actually compete for. But I think we need to start sort of reasonably slow, and just see where things end up once I've done a couple of full distance Ironmans, and whether I'm quick enough or not, it all remains to be seen. It certainly looks like it. If we're talking numbers and figures and things like that, me and my coach, we've gone through everything, and you know, I didn't just jump into this. There's been a lot of calculations done beforehand, what I should be capable of doing, what my physique should allow me to do. But obviously, it's one thing having the numbers there. There's another thing actually putting that into action. So we shall see over the next sort of 6 to 8 months as to, you know, where I end up by the time I get to. Hopefully, my first one is going to be Ironman Sweden, and then I'm potentially looking at Ironman Wales and maybe one more before the end of this year. So I want to give myself a certain amount of time now to sort of prepare properly for as I get into my first proper competitive event, full distance Ironman, to you know, to actually be ready for it and have done all the preparations and training. So I don't like to sort of jump into the water too early and sort of how should we put it? Just you know, take part. That's not my style. You know, if I'm going to be there, I need to be competitive. So my aim for my first Ironman is to go under 9 hours, and you know, I think that should be possible.
Well, those are lofty goals. I'm looking forward to seeing action.
You know, there's no point in setting low goals, is there? You know, you got to aim for the sky. So I think 9 hours is a possibility. But you know, we shall see. That's what I'm working towards anyway.
In terms of you live in the UK now, and how long have you lived in the UK?
I've been living in the UK since spring 2004. So basically, the week after I won Paris-Roubaix, we moved over to Wales, and been living just outside of Cardiff ever since.
Is there a good triathlon community where you are?
There's some good tri clubs around here, yeah. But you know, even when I was doing road racing on the world scene, the more part of my training has always been on my own. I kind of like the fact that, you know, I got specific training programs to do, so I do prefer to sort of go out there on my own. I know nothing is going to get in my way to actually get those sessions done to the point and actually be happy with what I've done in the session. I found it, you know, when I was training on the bike, I found that most of the time if I went out with other people, then my session, the training ride that I needed to do, always got sort of slightly hampered or altered, which, you know, at the end of the day, I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, have I given 100% today of what I could possibly, you know, what I could get out of my body? And unless I can say yes, then I'm not happy with it. So for me, it's all about just making sure that I get my work done in the best possible way, whether that means going out with other people and you know, getting in the water and swimming with other people, running with other people, or whether it means doing it on my own. You know, whatever works has to be, you know, the way that I go forward. So I'm open to obviously new ideas, new ways of training, and it's been a big change to sort of go towards, you know, get the running and the swimming into my training program. And I'm also going to do a few sort of bike races this year as well, especially early spring, because I want to keep that drive that I have on the bike. I want to keep that in me to give myself a good advantage on the bike compared to most triathletes out there.
So talking about bikes, what kind of bike are you riding these days?
I'll be riding a small British brand who make complete custom built bikes. So obviously going onto a tri bike and a triathlon position, you know, a lot of things have changed since you know, me being on my old trusty time trial bike and doing maybe the longest rides have been 50 kilometers in a time trial. So, you know, going on to doing 180k is a completely different ball game and a completely different position. But also, obviously, there are no real regulations in terms of how you can sit on the bike in terms of triathlon. So all of a sudden I begin a carte blanche in terms of, you know, creating a new position, creating a new bike, and getting myself as aerodynamic as possible, while still being able to hold on to that for 180k. So we've created a completely new bike, a custom setup bike for me, and I'm now sort of within the next couple of weeks going to take that into the wind tunnel and make sure that that we're fast enough on that position and on that bike to hopefully fingers crossed at some point over the next year and a half, 2 years, smash the 4-hour barrier in a bike split.
We'll hold you to that.
I love it.
Talking about doing stuff on your own and being 100% behind it. When you raced on the road, everything was taken care of for you in terms of bikes and other sponsors. That's now on you, I assume. And so, how is that going? Is it tough to find for sponsors?
I mean, the product side of things has actually worked out quite well for me. I've had a lot of good companies come on board. Like my bike sponsors, Windy Miller, they were sponsoring my team that I was riding with last year. So they've continued their relationship with me, and we're working on creating new models. And part of what I do outside of my riding and have done for a number of years is designing bikes and actually working on the structural side of things and creating new, improved frames, really. So, that's been one side that worked out quite easy. Obviously, finding the running and the swim kit, I've had to sort of get some help from a few different people. And my coach, Dave Hart, he's a former performance director of British Triathlon, so he's got a few connections within the tri-sport already. So with that, we've managed to sort of put together a really, really good sort of fast product range, if you will, with Hoob wetsuits. We got craft running clothing. We're just working on a new tri-suit for me, just to make sure that everything is what it, as good as we can possibly get it, for me to do the best job possible. But in terms of when you're looking at the money side of things, Maxi Fuel have come in and helped me with that this year. Obviously, I could still do with a lot more, which would enable me to sort of get to more races and also a few more training camps, etc. and improved the sort of the job that I can do. But at the same time, I got the program that I want. And for the first year, I think I'm really quite happy with where we are. So, whatever results I do this year, hopefully we'll be able to build on that going forward. And it also depends on how much publicity and things I can create with this. It's obviously it's a business, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we wish you awesome luck with your business and your adventures in triathlon, and we'll check in with you later this year to see how the progress is going.
That sounds great.
Hey, be good, Magnus.
And you. Thanks.